You keep your voice down. No, not until my wife is out of prison. I tried my best, damn it. You tried your best? How cute. This isn't Little League, EJ. This is life. You don't get a box of orange juice and some apple slices and a participation trophy for striking out. You lose your family.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel where I will be doing another episode recap on today's Days of Our Lives. It was a great episode today, a lot of high and low moments and people telling people how they really feel about each other, right? So let's get into it, right? So Stefan is at the mansion and he's anxiously waiting on EJ to come in with some news about Gabi, right? He wants to know if Gabi's gonna be free soon, right? So we see EJ coming in and Stefan is like, so what happened, right? So EJ said that he went to the courthouse, he's been busy there, and he spoke with the judge and he's telling Stefan that Gabi can't be free, unfortunately. So Stefan has this dumbfounded look on his face like, huh? So we see the next scene with Nicole, right? And Nicole is telling Drew that your daddy EJ is just sad that Johnny can't be here in the morning. He has to go to LA, right? So she's thinking up ways to cheer him up considering that's happening, right? So then she receives a phone call from Eric, and Eric is just checking in on her to see how she's doing considering everything that happened with Holly and Tate, and she said she's fine. However, Teresa went overboard on Holly and she wished that Teresa would put that energy towards Tate as well because he's not innocent, right? So she's also said that Holly is frustrated with her because she grounded her again and she just tired of Holly lying to her. So Eric says that, you know, you guys love each other and you guys will be fine, you know, and he's there for them no matter what, right? So she's appreciative of that, right? So we move on to the next scene. Brady and Alex are at the office, right? And yesterday's episode, we see Alex drop a bomb on Brady that he and Teresa are engaged. So Brady says, that was quick. And Alex says, usually when somebody tells you that they're engaged, you say congratulations, right? So Brady's saying like, you sure about this, Alex? Because Teresa does have an affinity for men with money, right? Look at me, like we were married at once. And Alex is aware of that information, you know, but he said that it's changed now. And he said, are you sure about that? I mean, she was with me a night ago, right? So Alex is just there and he's you can tell that he's actually thinking about what Brady said, right? So we see the next scene where Teresa, Sarah and Bonnie are, right? And Teresa, Sarah and Bonnie are wrapping up the wedding invitations for Sarah's wedding, right? So Sarah blurts out that Xander's mom has an address, and you know Teresa doesn't want to hear that for some reason, but I guess we're gonna find out soon. So Teresa is saying like, I thought you couldn't get a hold of her. So Sarah says that she got the address from Xander's aunt who was in touch with Xander's mom, right? So they're wrapping up the invitations and Teresa is saying like, no, you can't invite her. So they're like, why is it your concern? So Teresa is like, after everything with Constantine, why would you want her there? She's an alcoholic, right? She's going to create mischief or drama in the house. And they're like, you know, she's not a homicidal maniac, right? She could be sober, right? So they're optimistic about it, and they still are wondering why does Teresa care, right? So Teresa is just saying that she's overprotective and she's worried about everybody that's involved, and Victoria and then Sarah is like, why does it it's not your concern, it's her concern, right? So then, you know, they said they really got to finish up with invitations if they are going to be mailed, right? So Teresa, a light bulb came up in her little scheming head, and she said, you want any help with that? So we see the next scene where we see EJ and Stefan going at it, and this was the cliffhanger for this video where Stefan says to EJ that how come this never happened? And EJ said his hands are tied, and Stefan is angry at him and saying like, this is not no little league where you get, you know, your sandwich and your fruit and everything. It's life, right? I need you to come with this or you're gonna lose a family. So he's laying that blackmail heavy on big tall EJ, you know. So then Stefan is saying like, how did this happen, right? So EJ said, allow me to finish, right, before you start threatening me, right? So EJ is saying that he did make a convincing case to the judge, and the judge is buying it. However, she wants the physical evidence, which is that black book that Melinda has, right? And he can't get a hold of Melinda, so he's like, you're the DA, you need to figure this out, or you're gonna lose your family, or I'm gonna tell Nicole what happened with Jude's father, real father, right? So EJ is saying that you have me in a chokehold right now. You need to come help me with this because I mean you went overboard with this, right? So Stefan is saying that he has an idea, and he's saying that EJ needs to provide Melinda with immunity, and she may give them the book, right? So EJ saying how he's gonna do that, because if he lets Melinda free for all she's done with Jude's capture or abduction, then Nicole will look at him sideways, and then he also can't tell Nicole about Stefan blackmailing him. So Stefan's like, you deal with that with your wife. I just need this handled, right? So that is where we leave off with them. Then we go back to Alex and Brady, right? So Brady, Alex is saying that he was bothered by Brady's interaction with Teresa the other night, but he can't hold it against her because he was involved with Christine at a point, right? So he's not affected by that anymore. They've moved on and they want to be committed and married, right? So then Brady brings up a point about, so Alex brings up that, you know, she was interested in him before he got news that he was inheriting part of Victor's fortune, right? So Brady said, oh, about that, what about that time when we were in Greece, right? And Teresa was alone in the room and her father came over with the briefcase from Victor's plane crash, right? So what do you think that Teresa could have sneaked in there, because he knows her to be sneaky, right? And read the will. So she probably have an awareness of it and just is with Alex with the money, as we all know, and as all of Alex's close relatives know, right? So Alex is saying, even so, then, you know, she would be stringing me all along. Well, duh, Alex, duh. But Alex is still headstrong about this. He still believes that Teresa is being 100,000% honest with him, and he said Brady should just leave it alone. Brady should just don't mention it again, especially in front of Teresa, right? And that is where we left off with them. So we see that Nicole is still at the office, and Xander comes in with Victoria, right? So Xander said, oh, we're on baby duty today. So Nicole says, not for long, because she tells Chad that she's gonna be off leave to be at home taking care of Jude. So Xander congratulates her for having her baby back, and he's happy for both her and EJ, but he's sad for Eric. So Nicole is saying that, yeah, that's the second baby you lost, considering you were involved with the other baby being lost as well, or Eric not having the chance to be a father to that child. So Xander is upset. He's regretful about that. And you know, Nicole also mentions the fact that he tried to shoot him and end up shooting Marlena. So of course they like to just throw sins on Xander like they are not guilty or something, or they have not done something. I hate when they do that, right? They're all full of sin. So then Xander saying, you're being a hypocrite, right? Because you are the OG baby stealer. You know, that was a funny line from Xander. You know, Xander has those very funny one-liners. So he tells Nicole that she needs to get off her high horse and also, you know, give Sloan some slack. So, of course, you know, they go back and forth, and he's like, why are you really working for me? Like, you don't like me. Like, I could just fire you. So, I mean, it came to a halt, and then Xander said, you know what? let bygones be bygones. Let's settle our differences, right? Besides, you're happily married and have Jude now, and I'm happily married and we have Victoria. I'm gonna be happily married to Sarah and we have Victoria. So let's just move forward, right? So Xander brings up that Sarah wants to invite his mom to the wedding, and then Nicole said, aren't you not close with your mom? And then he started talking about his childhood trauma with his mom being an alcoholic and his father being deceased early. And he said that Victor stepped in at a point to help him and be a mentor. So they had a real personal moment, and Nicole connected with him with her traumatic relationship with her mom. And she said that it's good for you because my mom is deceased and we made amends, so it's good. Possibly you don't want to wait until it's too late where you don't get that chance to connect with your mom and let bygones be bygones, and then it would be good for Victoria as well, right? So they really had a moment, and I really was happy to see that. And Xander has really grown. Again, I'm a big Xander fan, all right? So we see the next scene where Eric is at the pub and Roman comes down, and Eric said, I saw Kate earlier, she looked sad, right? And he explained to him that Lucas is going away, and Eric says to him he's not the only one, like I'm thinking of going away too. So Roman is surprised, and Roman said, is it because of Nicole and working in close proximity with her? So he's saying it's not just that, and he's like, do you have feelings for her? And he said, like, I don't really want to think of anything romantic. I'm going through a divorce. So it's really about Jude. And I told Nicole, even though I told Nicole that, okay, I'm okay with working beside her with Jude being there sometimes, it's not cool for me right now. So I need to leave to kind of, get myself together. So Roman, even though he's going to miss him, he understands it because he went through that similar situation where he thought Belle was his and he had to leave, right? So we go back to these three ladies, right? So Bonnie is like, you really want to help me? You really want to help us? You didn't even want to help me with the boxes earlier, and you said let the servants do it. So Teresa said she was trying to be funny and she didn't want to mess up her manicure, and besides she wants Sarah to help her when it's time for her wedding. So she tells Sarah that she's engaged, and Sarah says congrats. And then Bonnie's like, when is gonna be the wedding? So Teresa said sooner the better, right? So of course they started talking more about the invitations, and it got to a point where Bonnie started talking about double wedding between the two couples, and they were not feeling that idea at all. I wasn't feeling it too. And then Bonnie brought up this subject about this lady that had an awful experience with double weddings, and of course we know it's Gwen, and it's so funny because it's full circle with the same actress playing Gwen and Teresa. So Gwen and Xander had their wedding, and it was a double wedding between her and Xander and Leo and Dr. Craig, right? And it was a big old mess, but she said she doesn't want that again, and Sarah says she doesn't want to talk about that lady at all, but we know who it is, right? Miss Gwen Rizcheck. So Bonnie asked Teresa how was the prom, and then she mentioned the past prom back in the day where they threw some blood on Chloe, and she's asking did they do that at that prom. So Teresa's like no, but she wished that they threw blood on Holly. So that Sarah is Holly's aunt, right? So she said, excuse me? So she said, I'm sorry, I forgot that she's your niece. But, she told them about what happened with Holly and Tate, right? And Sarah's like, she's just a kid. We all make mistakes, don't you? So she's saying, yeah. And then she also sees a lot of herself in Holly, right? Because she used to do drugs at high school, right? So then we see Brady and Alex were still finishing up. And then Teresa comes in and said, oh, you talking about me? So she asked Alex if you want to go to lunch, right? And said, gladly, right? So before Teresa and Alex leave, right, Brady stops Teresa, and then he also tells her congratulations on the engagement. So Teresa tells him thank you, right? So that is where they left. So the next scene we see is Xander and Sarah, right? Sarah is done with the invitations. So she meets up with Xander and Victoria, and then she also mentioned that Teresa helped her with the invitation. So he's surprised because Teresa doesn't like him, right? So she said that it's more of a personal motive, ulterior motive, so that she can help her later on, right? So that is where they left off in this scene. So we see Bonnie back at the mansion. She's just excited to be done with the invitation. So she's ready to watch her body and soul. And then she knocked over a garbage can, right? So in it looks like some envelopes. I think Teresa did not dispose of the envelope. So I don't know. I'm excited. I hope Bonnie finds it, because then Bonnie will know some truth to that, right? They will have an idea that Teresa was up to something there. They should put one and one together, right? So let's see what happens with that. So Eric goes to the office, right, and sees Nicole. Nicole is like, weren't you supposed to not be at work today? So Eric says yes, but he wanted to tell her something if she had a moment. So that is where it ended. And then we see EJ. He's on the phone with Rafe, and he's like, Rafe, we need to get the hands on the black book from Melinda in order for your sister to be released. So that needs to be happening sooner rather than later, right? So then we see Stefan at the jail, right? So he's apparently waiting to see Gabi, and we are also excited to see this new Gabi. I mean, Camila Banos was the best Gabi, but let's see how Miss Cherie is, right? I don't remember her full name, but let's see how she is, right? Let's give her a chance, right? So yeah, so that is it for today's episode. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to my channel. Comment below your thoughts as well. See you tomorrow on the last episode for this week's Days of Our Lives.